I'm Kristen, and we're going to go through just a gentle yoga sequence just for a few minutes to give you something to start with. We're going to just start in a seated position, and we'll just focus in on the breath, make ourselves aware of where our body's going to take us today, what's going on in our mind. Continue the breath throughout the practice. We'll just start with some neck rolls. And then lift the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades together and drop down. And continue with these shoulder circles. And reverse directions. And we're going to bring the hands up overhead, interlace the fingers, reverse direction, the palms facing up, reach the spine. We don't want the shoulders up at the ears, we want the shoulders relaxed down to feel full lengthening of the spine, and release. And then bring the hands up, with the opposite thumb on top, interlace the fingers, reach the palms for the sky, and reach up. Feel that stretch in the upper back. And slowly slide over to the right. Feel for a stretch in the left side. Neutral and over to the left side. And neutral. Release the arms down. Now we're going to come into our cat-cow or our dog tilt, cat tilt sequence. So we're going to start in our tabletop position with our hips directly over our knees and our hands directly beneath our shoulders. So this is our tabletop position. Our backs should be relatively straight. And we're going to go through the cat-cow sequence. First we're going to drop our head, drop our tailbone, and arch our spine. And then into the dog tilt. We're going to reverse direction of the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, and feeling the curve from the opposite direction. Make sure that your hips are still over your knees, and your shoulders are still over your wrists. And then bring the head up with this dog tilt. Release the shoulders down along your back. You don't want the shoulders up here still as we were in cat. You want to release them down. And then just flow through this sequence at your own pace. Whatever feels good to your body. And then maintaining the hips directly over the knees, walk the hands out in front of you and lower the chest down to the ground. As close as possible. If available to you, you can release the head down and feel that dog tilt in the back, in this pose. As you arch your spine, release the chest to the ground, breathe, and slowly walk the hands back up. Now from table, we're going to come about one handprint in front, and we're going to thread the right arm under the left shoulder, and slowly come down, with the support of the left hand, slowly come down onto the right shoulder. Make sure that your hips are still directly over your knees. And if this is a good twist for you, then stay here, pushing into your left hand. If you would like a little more, you can lift the left arm up. And if you would like a little more, you can reach the left arm around the right thigh to grab hold of the inner right thigh. And breathe. And slowly release with the support of the left hand. Push yourself back up. And we'll do it on the opposite side. So now we're going to thread our left arm under our right shoulder, release the left shoulder to the ground, lift up the right arm if that's available to you. And you can bring it around the left inner thigh to feel that twist. Twists are really good for cleansing the organs. It's like wringing out a mat, where you're wringing out the toxins from your organs. That's the idea of twists. So back into table. From table, we're going to walk our hands again, about one handprint in front of a table. We're going to curl our toes under, and we're going to lift our hips towards the back of the mat. Relax the shoulders, squeeze the inner armpits towards the ears. Make sure there's equal weight in the hands, that the majority of the weight is not in the wrists. You want to push into the fingers. Reach the tailbone towards the sky. Something that might help is to bend the knees, and then lift the tailbone, and then straighten the hamstring. So it's not important to keep the feet, it's not important to keep the heels to the ground here. So that's what you reach for. Make sure that your thighs are engaged, strong, straight legs. And then come forward into plank, where our body is straight. Lower down into chaturanga and into cobra. A cobra, the strength is in the lower back. And we should be able to release our hands here. So this is a nice stretch for the back, as well as strengthening the lower back muscles. This is good if you have any, if you have tired back, if you have a tight back. And then curl the toes under. We're going to come up on our knees and back into child's pose. So the top of the feet are back to the mat. And this is child's pose, where we just release the chest to the knees. And we can bring our hands beside the feet and allow the shoulders to just hang over the knees, hang over the side of the legs. This should release your sacrum here. Now, if you can't go this far, it's okay just to go as far as you can. If you have a blanket, you may want to put the blanket here so that you don't have to go as far down, so that when you fold over, your butt is up a little further in the air, and that's okay. Whatever works for you is okay. And then slowly roll up. Another thing that's good for the feet is if you curl the toes under and then just come back and sit on the heels. This is really good for stretching out the arches of the feet, which we often do not take time to stretch. And I'd say that's enough to get you started on your daily routine, and more to come later.